On October 6, 2012, Israeli airplanes shot down a small UAV as it flew over northern Negev. Hezbollah confirmed it sent the drone, and Nasrallah said in a televised speech that the drone's parts were manufactured in Iran. On October 24, 2012, Sudan claimed that Israel had bombed a munitions factory, allegedly belonging to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, south of Khartoum. In November 2012, Israel reported that an Iranian ship was being loaded with rockets to be exported to countries within range of Israel and that Israel will attack and destroy any shipment of arms. In January 2013, rumors were released that the Fordow fuel enrichment plant had been hit by an explosion. Further reports by IAEA concluded that there had been no such incident. On April 25, 2013, Israeli aircraft shot down a drone off the coast of Haifa, allegedly belonging to Hezbollah. On May 7, 2013, residents of Tehran reported hearing 3 blasts in an area where Iran maintains its missile research and depots. Later, an Iranian website said the blasts occurred at a privately owned chemical factory. On December 10, Hamas announced that they have resumed ties with Iran after a brief cutoff over the Syrian conflict. A court in Jerusalem has sentenced an Israeli man, Yitzhak Burgel, to 4.5 years in prison for offering to spy for Iran. Burgel belongs to the anti-Zionist Neturei Karta, an ultra-Orthodox Jewish sect which is vehemently opposed to the state of Israel's existence. The Israeli Navy intercepted the Class C cargo ship. Israel stated Iran was using the vessel to smuggle dozens of long-range rockets to Gaza, including Syrian-manufactured M302 rockets. The operation, named Full Disclosure and carried out by Shayetet 13 Special Forces, took place in the Red Sea, 1,500 kilometers away from Israel and some 160 kilometers from Port Sudan. Iranian state media reported that on August 24, 2014, IRGC had shot down an Israeli drone near Natanz fuel enrichment plant. The Israeli military did not comment on the reports. 2 workers were killed in an explosion that took place at a military explosives factory southeast of Tehran, near the suspected nuclear reactor in Pirchin in what seemed to be a response ordered by Iran. Hezbollah set off an explosive device on the border between Lebanon and the Israeli-controlled side of the Sheba farms, wounding 2 Israeli soldiers. Israel responded with artillery fire toward 2 Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. During the Syrian civil war. Further information. Hezbollah involvement in the Syrian civil war and Iranian involvement in the Syrian civil war. Israel and Syria have observed a truce since Israel reaffirmed its control over most of the Golan Heights in the 1973 Yom Kippur War, but the Syrian civil war, which began in 2011, has led to several incidents of fire exchange across the once peaceful borders. The Israeli military is reportedly preparing itself for potential threats should there be a power vacuum in Syria. After Assad and after establishing or strengthening their foothold in Syria, they are going to move and deflect their effort and attack Israel. An Israeli official told the Associated Press in January 2014. Some experts say that while the encroaching militant forces on Israel's border will heighten security measures, the advancements are not likely to create significant changes to Israel's policy disengagement in the Syria crisis. In the Syrian civil war, hoping to bolster its logistics and force projection capabilities in the area, Tehran aims to clear a path from the Iranian capital to Damascus and the Mediterranean coast. The Israeli government is convinced that Iran is interested in creating territorial contiguity from Iran to the Mediterranean and in transferring military forces, including naval vessels, fighter planes, and thousands of troops, to permanent bases in Syria and is trying to Lebanonize Syria and take over using Shiite militias, as it had done with Hezbollah in Lebanon. As Israeli Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman has warned, everything possible will be done to prevent the existence of a Shiite corridor from Tehran to Damascus. In 2017, Israeli intelligence discovered an Iranian base being built in Syria just 50 kilometers from the Israeli border. The assistance provided by Iran's IRGC Quds force under General Qasem Soleimani, Hezbollah, and Russia to the Syrian government enabled Bashar al-Assad to emerge victorious from the war in 2017, which ensured that the worst-case scenario, for Israel, a contiguous axis of resistance stretching from Iran and Iraq through Syria to the Lebanese-Israeli border, had been realized. Mossad Director Yossi Cohen said in 2018 that Israel's failure to prevent an Assad victory in Syria, together with Israel's failure to defeat Hezbollah in 2006, had meant that Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, should he be so minded, could drive his car from Tehran to Lebanon's border with Israel without being stopped, and the same route would be open to truckloads of rockets bound for Iran's main regional proxy, Hezbollah. Covert operations, 2013 to 2017. On several occasions between 2013 and 2017, Israel reportedly carried out or supported attacks on Hezbollah and Iranian targets within Syrian territories or Lebanon. One of the first reliably reported incidents took place on January 30, 2013, when Israeli aircraft struck a Syrian convoy allegedly transporting Iranian weapons to Hezbollah. Habitually, Israel refused to comment on the incident, a stance that is believed to seek to ensure that the Syrian government did not feel obliged to retaliate. More incidents were attributed to IAF on May 2013, December 2014, and April 2015. Some of those reports were confirmed by the Syrian Arab Republic, whereas others were denied. Israel systematically refused to comment on alleged targeting of Hezbollah and Ba'athist Syrian targets in Syrian territory. In 2015, suspected Hezbollah militants launched a retaliatory attack on Israeli forces in Sheba Farms as a response to an Israeli airstrike in the Syrian Golan that killed Hezbollah and IRGC senior operatives. In March 2017, Syria launched anti-aircraft missiles towards the Israeli-controlled part of the Golan Heights, allegedly targeting Israeli IF aircraft, which Syria claimed were on their way to attack targets in Palmyra in Syria. After the incident, the State of Israel stated it was targeting weapons shipments headed toward anti-Israeli forces, specifically Hezbollah, located in Lebanon. Israel denied Syria's claim that one jet fighter was shot down and another damaged. Israel has not reported any pilots or aircraft missing in Syria or anywhere else in the Middle East following the incident. According to some sources, the incident was the first time Israeli officials clearly confirmed an Israeli strike on a Hezbollah convoy during the Syrian civil war. As of September 2017, this was the only time such confirmation was issued. In January 2014, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that Iran's nuclear program would only be set back 6 weeks as a result of its interim agreement with the international community. In one of the region's oddest pairings, Israel and the Gulf Arab states led by Saudi Arabia increasingly are finding common ground and a common political language on their mutual dismay over the prospect of a nuclear deal in Geneva that could curb Tehran's atomic program but leave the main elements intact, such as uranium enrichment. In June 2017, former Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon stated that, "We and the Arabs, the same Arabs who organized in a coalition in the Six-Day War to try to destroy the Jewish state, today find themselves in the same boat with us. The Sunni Arab countries, apart from Qatar, are largely in the same boat with us since we all see a nuclear Iran as the number one threat 2017 to 2018. Beginning in January 2017, the Israeli Air Force began flying almost daily attack missions against Iranian targets in Syria, dropping about 2,000 bombs in 2018 alone. Some Iranian targets were also attacked by Israeli surface-to-surface missiles, or in raids by Israeli special forces. According to former IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot, the decision to strike Iranian bases in Syria was made after Iran changed its strategy in 2016 as the U.S.-led military intervention against ISIL was drawing to an end, planning to exploit the power vacuum to establish hegemony in Syria, building bases, and bringing in foreign Shiite fighters. Although the full extent of the campaign would not be revealed until 2019, by early December 2017 the Israeli Air Force confirmed it had attacked arms convoys of Ba'athist Syria and Lebanon's Hezbollah nearly 100 times during more than 6 years of the conflict in Syria. In January 2019, outgoing IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot claimed that up to that point, only a few dozen Iranian military personnel had been killed in the attacks, as Israel had taken care to primarily target Iranian infrastructure while sparing personnel so as not to give Iran any pretext to retaliate. Heist of Iranian nuclear secrets in 2018. It was reported that the Mossad stole nuclear secrets from a secure warehouse in Tehran in January 2018. According to reports, the agents came in a truck semi-trailer at midnight, cut into dozens of safes with high-intensity torches, and carted out 50,000 pages and 163 compact discs of memos, videos, and plans before leaving in time to make their escape when the guards came for the morning shift at 7 a.m. According to the Israelis, the documents and files, which it shared with European countries and the United States, demonstrated that the Iranian AM-80 project aimed to develop nuclear weapons, that Iran had a nuclear program when it claimed to have largely suspended it, and that there were 2 nuclear sites in Iran that had been hidden from inspectors. This was followed by the Trump administration withdrawing the United States from the JCPOA and reimposing U.S. sanctions on Iran. Shortly after retiring as head of Mossad, Yossi Cohen admitted he oversaw the operation to steal the Iranian documents during a televised interview in June 2021. Benjamin Netanyahu's 2022 book revealed several new details of the operation, including an intent to sabotage the nuclear program by stealing irreplaceable documents, in addition to proving its mere existence. Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon, 2019 to 2020. In July 2019, it was reported that Israel had expanded its strikes against Iranian missile shipments to Iraq, with Israeli F-35 combat planes allegedly striking Iranian targets in Iraq twice. Israeli airstrikes reportedly targeted Iran-backed militias in Iraq during 2019. On September 16, 2019, airstrikes targeting 3 positions of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards and allied Iraqi militias killed at least 10 pro-Iranian militiamen in Abu Kamal, Syria. The strikes were allegedly blamed on Israel. According to The Time, the increase of Iran-Israel tension concurs with discussion of a possible rapprochement between Iran and the U.S. Israeli aircraft or drones attacked a Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, PFLP, position in Qusayr, located in the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, close to the border with Syria on Sunday night, August 26, 2019, according to Lebanese media reports. The attack came a day after 2 drones exploded in the Lebanese capital Beirut. According to an official from the Palestinian position in the town, 3 air strikes hit the PFLP-GC military position in Qusayr early morning August 26, 2019, causing only material damage. On July 27, 2020, explosions and exchange of fire were heard during a security incident at the border between the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights and Lebanon. The incident involved Israeli soldiers and 4 Hezbollah fighters who allegedly crossed the border, and came days after a Hezbollah member was killed by Israeli airstrikes in Syria and an Israeli drone crashed in Lebanon. The Israel Defense Forces said that there were no Israeli casualties, and that the 4 Hezbollah fighters fled back to Lebanon after being shot at. However, Hezbollah denied that their forces attacked the Israeli army, and said that their fighters had not crossed the border in a release statement. The group said that Israel opened fire first. 24 explosions were heard in Lebanon. An Israeli shell smashed in a civilian home, narrowly missing a family in the house at the time. But nobody was hurt. Assassinations, cyber warfare, and sabotage. The U.S. assassinated Qasem Soleimani on January 3, reversing policy of the prior administration which had warned Iran of Israeli attempts at assassinating Soleimani. The Iranians retaliated with Operation Martyr Soleimani, in which 11 Qaem-1 missiles hit Al-Assad Air Base, causing traumatic brain injuries to 110 American soldiers. On the same day, the IRGC mistakenly shot down Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752, killing all 176 passengers and crew aboard, including 82 Iranian citizens. This triggered another wave of Iranian anti-government protests, part of the larger 2019 to 2020 Iranian protests, with many Iranians calling for the removal of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. When giant U.S. and Israeli flags were painted on the ground for crowds of Iranian protesters to trample on them, according to video filmed at the scene that has been verified by NBC News, the crowds of people outside Beheshti University refused to trample over them. On May 9, 2020, Israel was reportedly behind a cyber attack that disrupted the Shahid Raji port in the Strait of Hormuz, causing traffic jams of delivery trucks and delays in shipments. It was suggested the attack was a response to a failed Iranian cyber attack on an Israeli water facility of the Sharon Central region in April. In June and July, a series of explosions targeted Iran's nuclear and missile programs and various other infrastructure. There were accidents and damages reported in the Parchin military complex near Tehran on June 26, the Sina Adhar Clinic in northern Tehran on 30 June, the Natanz nuclear facility on July 2, the Shahid Medhaj power plant, Zargan, in Awaz, and the Karan Petrochemical Center in the city of Mashhad on July 4. It has been speculated that Israel was involved, and the damage at the centrifuge plant in Natanz alone could delay the Iranian nuclear weapons program by 1 or 2 years. According to intelligence officials, on July 6, another explosion occurred at the Sepahan Borish factory in the city of Bakershar. On July 9, explosions were reported at a missile depot belonging to Iran's Revolutionary Guards Corps west of Tehran. On July 11, an explosion took place at the basement of an old two-story house containing gas cylinders in northern Tehran. On July 12, a fire broke out at the Shahid Tanguyan Petrochemical Company in southwest Iran. On July 13, an explosion occurred at a gas condensate plant of the Kavian Farman Industrial Zone in the Razavi-Khorasan province. On July 15, a large fire broke out at a shipyard in the city of Bushehr, spreading to 7 wooden boats. On July 18, an oil pipeline exploded in the Ahwaz region in southern Iran. On July 19, another explosion took place in a power station in Isfahan. On August 4, a massive explosion took place at the Beirut port caused by ammonium nitrate that was stored at the place. According to the German newspaper Die Welt, Iran supplied Hezbollah with hundreds of tons of ammonium nitrate between 2013 and 2014, while around that time Lebanon confiscated thousands of tons of the explosive substance that years later led to the blast. Abdullah Ahmed Abdullah, the second in command of al-Qaeda, was killed on August 7, 2020 in Tehran.